Hi, we're going to get started in just a couple of minutes, so I suggest you go ahead and get up, grab your favorite beverage, and come on back to the screen, and we will start in 2 minutes. Hello, and welcome to the 2020 New Jersey Future Smart Growth Awards. We're glad that you can join us today as we celebrate some of the best smart growth plans and projects in New Jersey. I'm Peter Kasabak. I'm the Executive Director of New Jersey Future, and I'm going to be your guide for the next 45 minutes as we uncover some of the reasons that these smart growth projects are great, and we hear from some of the people that make them great. A couple of logistics first. While this is a recorded event, we are going to have a live chat feature, and we encourage you to use the live chat and participate through that live chat. You can also ask questions of our staff, and if our staff can answer them, they're available and they will answer them in the live chat. On occasion, you'll also see a link for donating. We would encourage you to click on that link and donate to New Jersey Future and help contribute. This is the 19th year of the Smart Growth Awards. We love this event. We love this event because it gives you the opportunity to see smart growth in action, and it makes the policy and program work that we do every day come to life. At New Jersey Future, we believe that great places help create great lives, and we believe that great places don't just happen. We believe that the decisions that we make about where and how we build our infrastructure and develop our buildings will dictate how strong, healthy, fair, and resilient our communities are now and in the future. And we believe that those decisions need to always look to improve our environment, our economy, and social equity. We believe in system change, and that means thoroughly researching and understanding problems, convening stakeholders with different perspectives, coming up with bold and practical solutions, and then helping to implement those solutions. To find out more about New Jersey Future, what we do and how we do it, please visit our website or sign up for our email list. As a nonprofit organization built to advance the public good, we rely on a lot of smart people who help give us guidance, but also help us get the work done. I'd first like to acknowledge our incredible board. The collective wisdom and expertise of this diverse group of individuals ensures that we stay mission-focused and take into consideration the many perspectives of smart growth as we forge ahead. The second part of the equation is our talented staff. These individuals are committed to tirelessly improving New Jersey, and this year has been a real test. A special shout out to Michelle Glassberg, Loana Mendez-Solano, Kelly Heck, and Missy Rebovich for putting today's event together. Next, there's you. We can't do what we do without your support, whether it be your professional expertise, thought leadership, advocacy, or financial support. You make our work possible. I'd like to thank everyone from individual donors to our corporate and foundation partners. Your support today and over the years has helped grow New Jersey Future into an outstanding organization and a national leader in the movement for smart growth. I'd particularly like to thank our sponsors for today's event. We are gratified for their leadership and backing. Please be sure to look through the program book online to see the many services these sponsors provide. It's now my pleasure to introduce the event title sponsor, M&T Bank, and Jim Morris.
Thank you and good evening. I'm Jim Morris, and on behalf of M&T Bank, we are proud to be the title sponsors of the New Jersey Future Smart Growth Awards again this year. At M&T Bank, we cherish opportunities to support organizations that make our communities better, and New Jersey Future certainly fits that bill in terms of the research, advocacy, policy development, and strategic assistance that it provides, benefiting both public and private projects around the state that are improving our communities. M&T shares a similar vision as we consider ourselves a community bank and are driven by the core belief of providing banking services that enable our customers and communities to succeed. For 160 years, the bank has operated under the philosophy, when our communities succeed, we all succeed. I also want to congratulate this year's award winners for their all-inspiring developments and infrastructure projects that are providing sustainable improvements to our communities and advancing the social justice and equity missions that are critical for our continued growth. And a special congratulations to Peter Reinhardt for being this year's recipient of the Carrie Edwards Leadership Award. Thank you for your career of advocacy for smart growth policy and your dedication in crafting the industry leaders of tomorrow. Once again, thank you for allowing us to be involved again this year, and I hope you enjoy the ceremony.
Thank you again, Jim and M&T Bank, for being our title sponsor today and for your leadership. Because today's event is virtual, we decided not to charge admission. But this is a fundraiser for New Jersey Future, and we do hope that you'll make a small contribution or donation to New Jersey Future to help us continue our cutting-edge work. 2020, this has been quite a year. It has been marked by enormous uncertainty, expanding divisiveness, and deep soul-searching. As individuals and as a nation, we have confronted long-standing issues of race and equity in ways not seen in a generation. We are realizing that where and how we build and develop can have a huge impact on perpetuating racial and economic injustice, but also has the potential to reverse these historic trends. As a state, we are starting to realize that storms are increasing, sea levels are rising, and flooding is causing more and more damage. Now it's time to start planning and adapting to this changing climate in a way that protects people and property, both today and tomorrow. As we look and listen to these inspiring and award-winning smart growth stories, I'd like you to keep two things in mind that guide great smart growth efforts. First, plan comprehensively. We face a myriad of complicated and interwoven challenges. Addressing multiple issues simultaneously through comprehensive planning is hard, but it pays huge dividends for this and future generations, including saving money in the long run. How can we expand our own thinking and work to look to the future and tackle multiple challenges at the same time? Second, build community. Each of the projects and plans you will see today has an impact on the greater community. How can we design and develop our built environment to break down isolation and segregation and build connections between people? And now to the awards. This year's awards are framed tiles from the studio of Mud Girls in Atlantic City. Mud Girls Studios is a nonprofit organization that provides a safe environment, education, and skill development for women through the making of ceramic arts. These skills contribute to the overall health and improved quality of life for these women and the community where they live. We thank Mud Girls Studios for creating these unique tiles for our event and for our winners. For those of you who have made nominations in the past, you know how this works. You send us great projects and plans, our independent jury reviews those plans, and then goes out and does site visits for the finalists, and then they make their final selections. We were spoiled this year because we had so many great nominations, and the jury had a very difficult time making a final cut. We'd like to thank everybody who submitted nominations this year. It was a great batch of projects and plans, and we keep them coming in the future. I'd like to extend deep gratitude to our distinguished jury this year. The Smart Growth Awards jury is an all-volunteer group that spends hours reviewing nominations, visiting sites, and deliberating to select the final winners. The list of our jurors can also be found in the program book. And now what you've all been waiting for, our awardees. Today, we honor 4 projects, 1 program, and 1 plan with our Smart Growth Awards. First up is New Brunswick Performing Arts Center. This 23-story, state-of-the-art, mixed-use arts hub houses 2 theaters and rehearsal space for beloved local theater companies and university students, with office space and mixed-income housing to support the vibrant local community. Primary partners: New Brunswick Development Corporation, City of New Brunswick, County of Middlesex, Rutgers University, Penrose, and New Brunswick Parking Authority.
New Brunswick is a fascinating place, but one of the things that has been extraordinarily important throughout its history is the arts have always played a role. They have made an incredible contribution to the tempo of New Brunswick. So this is a little bit of a payback for the arts community. We're now giving them this type of facility to perform in, let them do bigger, let them do better, let them do more interesting performances.
New Brunswick Performing Arts Center, just by nature of its grandeur, its beauty, and the state-of-the-art facilities, this is a cultural center that is in the center of town.
There are so many great companies of this building on George Street Playhouse and Crossroads Theater Company, the American Repertory Ballet Company, and Mason Groves School of the Arts. And in addition to the 2 theaters and 5 rehearsal spaces, also is the home to 207 rental apartments, a quarter of which have been reserved as affordable housing for artists. And it's great that not only are we a building that is about the arts and support the arts, but we also have artists living above us, around us, and come in to work here every day.
And what is the one magnet that brings people together, that brings restaurants in, that brings commerce and hotels? It's the arts.
New Brunswick has really benefited from the hundreds of thousands of people who visit this location. Even in the short term that we were open before COVID, we were breaking all kinds of attendance records.
Although NBPAC has been closed since March 13th, we have been able to help art flourish by providing art murals in the streets of downtown New Brunswick and throughout Middlesex County. In addition, we provide online programming to make sure people understand that the arts are still alive.
Somewhat helpful to our resident companies today is that they don't pay rent. So we created a structure that really did provide tens of thousands of dollars in overhead reduction to our resident companies, with the hope that we then turn that and they're able to use that for their creative efforts.
It has made arts come alive, inside and outside. And I appreciate the fact that the New Brunswick Performing Arts Center stands so tall and says so beautifully and vividly, the arts matter.
Great societies are judged, great cities are judged of how they treat artists and what art means to that community. And doing this project, we think we're really fulfilling the call to the next generation that arts will continue to be an important part of the growth of the city.
New Brunswick PAC is truly a masterpiece in design and concept. The collaborations resulting from the shared facility and the community at large will contribute to long-term sustainability and growth of the vibrant downtown arts district in New Brunswick, and will ensure continued cultural growth for the next generation. Our downtown cultural districts have been hit hard by COVID-19, and NBPAC's thoughtful financial arrangement with its resident performing arts organizations has afforded some protection. How do we ensure our recovery builds back our downtowns and our arts districts stronger? And how do we make sure that everyone benefits? Next is Murphy Varnish Works, Newark, a community-focused restoration of an abandoned historic icon, creating new housing and retail, a catalyst for neighborhood redevelopment and improvement. Primary partners: Golden Towers Corp., Studio for Urban Architecture and Design, City of Newark Landmarks and Historic Preservation Commission.
This is very important for me because I live here in the Iron Bank almost all my life, and I love the Iron Bank. And the first time I see this building, a lot of years ago, I love this building.
The significance of this building historically is not only the great architecture and construction for its time, but also the story behind the man, Franklin Murphy, a progressive, even in today's standards.
He cared so much about what he's done for not only his business, but for his community. It's a landmark just in its size and location. You could see it clearly from the Amtrak train, which is a block away.
Some of the brick walls here are 3 feet thick. The concrete floors are reinforced. Aesthetically, the 4-foot round windows that are operable, there's so much detail. It's really a reflection of Franklin Murphy, that not only did he take pride in his varnishes, he also took pride in his workers in the Newark community. The building is just so magical, and everyone's curious about this building. You know, living in the neighborhood, you saw this thing decaying, and there was nothing you could really do.
This part of the Ironbound was neglected. New development was trying to start up, and this building rejuvenated the community, and it's stirring a lot of new life.
The transformation to this building has been tremendous. The amount of work that's been done, it's a completely different building. It looks amazing, definitely unique. It's not something you can just find anywhere at any kind of complex.
The community wanted it to succeed. They also walk around with the pride of it.
We employ a lot of the people in this area, the Ironbound, and a lot of mason, electric, plumber, a lot of the contractors from this area.
Development or redevelopment like this is very contagious. We could save another building, or we could build a new building that complements this development, because the neighborhood is perfect for redevelopment. You know, it's very walkable, lots of services, lots of retail in the area, and it's a perfect place to live.
This area around here changed complete from the time we start fix this building. The neighbor very happy. This is a special project. I'm lucky to have the chance to put my hands in this building. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna have another chance in my life. So it's very, very special.
Murphy Varnish Works is an incredible success story of the restoration and redevelopment of an abandoned, contaminated historic building to its original architectural brilliance and beyond. Projects like this in many of our urban neighborhoods face high hurdles, including the need to clean up historic contamination. How can the state play a bigger role in providing funding and incentives to jumpstart these critical projects in our urban areas? Our third winner is Washington Street Redesign Project, Hoboken, a landmark redesign of a bustling historic corridor spanning 16 blocks in the city, a model in coordination and cooperation across sectors with significant environmental and safety benefits. Primary partners: City of Hoboken, T&M Associates, Underground Utilities Corporation, New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, North Hudson Sewage Authority, and Suez.
The Washington Street Redesign Project has been critical for Hoboken. Washington Street is Hoboken's main street. It has historic architecture and it has a vibrancy that's already there. We wanted to make sure that we took that vibrancy and the great bones that were already there and improved upon it and modernized it. We did nearly a 2-year public outreach campaign. We took that feedback and combined it with best practices, and we created a project that had components for improving transportation, components for improving sustainability, and components for improving resiliency. We put those 3 things together to create what we believe is a model complete street.
Many people know that the water main would have consistently breaks during the winter, and it was over 100-year-old. So one of the primary goals of the project was to replace the entire length of the water main. We did some rain gardens to not only beautify the landscape, but also retain some of the water to not overburden the system.
Upgrading 16 traffic signals, some of which had been in place since the 1940s. Also adding new pedestrian countdown timers and pedestrian signals. Adding curb extensions, which reduce the width of our crosswalks, so there's less time that a pedestrian's exposed as they cross the street. Improving bus stops, making them higher visibility. We've seen a huge uptick in the number of bicycle riders on Washington Street since the bike lanes were added. We've seen a decline in crashes that involve pedestrians.
Designating loading zones, so it would help the business because all the double parking, the triple parking, they would not get deliveries.
And also installing a microgrid backbone conduit underneath Washington Street so that if we ever have another major power outage, we'll be able to power critical facilities, multiple dividends that help improve the overall safety and functionality of Washington Street. It's also benefited Hoboken in ways that we hadn't really anticipated previously. With the COVID-19 pandemic, there's been critical need to have outdoor dining to help with public safety goals.
The parklet that's on the street has opened up so much for us. It added a whole new element to outdoor dining. We're not closing our doors, we're sustainable. Washington Street now, compared to what it was 5, 10, 15 years ago, it's night and day. Hoboken used to be a deterrent to go through. too long, too much traffic, too many people. Now, streamlined. It is easier to go through here than to go around town, everything working together, and it has really kind of opened up to all of us. You see more and more people coming in all day long.
Putting those components together, complete streets, green infrastructure, and resiliency creates a total package that we think serves as a model for how any other town or city in New Jersey could redesign their main street.
With its commitment to safety, inclusiveness, green infrastructure, and resilience, the Washington Street Redesign Project could serve as a model for improving main streets everywhere. The project is on the cutting edge of the movement to create complete and green streets that serve all users while managing stormwater through natural systems. A win-win. The revitalization of Washington Street required an extraordinary amount of collaboration and coordination among project partners and stakeholders and demanded tremendous cooperation. How can we collaborate to take on complicated issues that will make New Jersey's communities healthier, stronger, and more resilient? Next up is the Social Profit Center at Mill 1, Hamilton, an innovative, nonprofit-driven restoration of a substantial historic building, creating affordable workspace for local nonprofits and artists, breathing new life into a distressed neighborhood as part of a lively arts corridor. Primary partners, Isles Inc., Hamilton Township, New Jersey Community Capital, and U.S. Bancorp Community Development Corporation.
We started asking the what-if questions. What if we could save an old building and create a high-performing, energy-efficient, environmentally safe center and do it in a place where this community was really in need of reinvestment? Raise the bar, think big, and create a space that we're now calling the Social Profit Center.
The area that the Mill 1 project sits in is one of our lower socioeconomic areas. It's really been a catalyst for economic redevelopment. And we're starting as a township to do that with some of the other buildings we have in the area as well.
So being able to activate the space, initially with opportunities for existing residents, for jobs, and other services that they may not have had immediate access to, and ultimately bring some new residents into the area, and then hopefully attract new investment dollars into the entire Bromley neighborhood.
This is a way to create a spot for organizations that are doing a variety of things that are critical to the community to be able to afford to be here. There's nothing I can think of that would have a bigger impact on equity than targeting those organizations that are addressing those critical social and environmental needs in that way.
I really feel like many of the other members of the Social Profit Center will be able to collaborate with, will be inspired by, and that's one thing I'm really excited about, is that it feels like a space where there will be a lot of innovation and inspiration and just give us an opportunity to impact the community in a positive way.
Isles is committed to putting in that green infrastructure to help the town with their stormwater management.
Which is why we have a green roof that acts like a sponge when the heavy rains come. We have super high efficient air conditioning systems here, healthy for everybody that's in this space. We've got access to the grounds for sculpture as well as other arts-related interests here in this area.
We have a Bromley Center right up the street where there's a food pantry as well. We sit right on the northeast corridor line. Easy for people who live in this neighborhood to be able to walk or ride a bike to the train station and get up to New York City or down to Philadelphia. Again, a win-win for the community, for the township, and for Isles as well.
When the case study is written on this project, it will describe why it was important to set the bar high and not settle for what normally gets done. It will also describe the beauty of that perseverance. We kept at it, and that Central New Jersey is going to benefit in so many ways because of that perseverance.
With its easy access, modern amenities, affordable rents, environmental sustainability, and collaborative community-minded mission, the Social Profit Center at Mill 1 is truly a model of holistic community investment. One of the lessons we are learning from COVID is the interconnection between health, resilience, and equity in our communities. How can we take a holistic approach to building our communities back better and stronger, including considerations for mitigating and adapting to climate change? Our fifth winner is the City of Newark Lead Reduction Program, a revolutionary citywide lead removal program recognized as a national model for its aggressive approach to removing lead in drinking water. swiftly and efficiently replacing more than 18,000 lead service lines within 3 years at no charge to residents. Primary partners: City of Newark, Newark Department of Water and Sewer, State of New Jersey, County of Essex, and CDM Smith.
Newark always had the best tasting water. Our forefathers designed this system. However, lead was the common material that everybody used during those times. And we came to know that lead was going to be a problem. But the city of Newark has always put its residents first.
We had an imminent problem. We had to address it as expeditiously as we could. We were already putting something in place, but it would have taken at least 10 years for us to get it done.
However, the county came up with an idea of giving us $120 million in bonding money, which allowed us to expedite the program. We had just replaced a little over 700 lines at that time. Not even 20 months later, we replaced almost 16,000 of the 18,000 plus lead service lines. We've actually touched 21,000 homes to get to that number.
People began to appreciate that and began to move in that direction. I want to help. How can I get mine fixed? How can I get mine fixed? And that began to drive the narrative. We getting this fixed. Let's get it done.
And during COVID, residents started giving the contractor PPE to come in their house to get the service line done. That's the city coming together.
Now that the city has stepped in and is assisting the residents on getting the lead lines replaced, they're ecstatic. Everybody's happy to have the new copper lines installed. And they get nice, fresh, clean drinking water. And they know, and it appears that the city care about them.
It would have been a burden for them to pay for the lines being replaced. But since the city did it for them free, that eased their mind a great deal. Clean water is important for your health. So everybody should have clean water.
A lot of the Newark residents are very happy to see minority contractors actually on the ground doing the work. Everybody's grateful.
The city of Newark is growing, so since the lines have been changed quickly, it's going to be more investment in Newark, I believe.
We did this because we had to, and we believe and love the people of this community. We live here, our families live here. The motivation was about being able to go home to your family and tell them that we're fixing this problem. The number one thing is collaboration and our relationship that we have with the community.
Just showed that we had a plan and we tweaked it along the way when we ran into obstacles. Newark has the largest lead abatement program in the country for homes. So being a national role model is saying that with the collaboration, we can do it. Let's fund it on the national level to upgrade the aging water and sewer infrastructure. We need to do it, and we need to do it now. Newark strong.
Newark's collaborative, community-centered approach significantly contributed to the program's overwhelming success. Success which has made it an outstanding model for communities across the country to emulate. New Jersey Future and our partners will be taking a community-centered approach as we kick off the Lead-Free New Jersey Collaborative in the new year, focusing on reinvesting in critical aging infrastructure and making New Jersey homes lead-safe and our children lead-free. Our final project winner is Whitlock Mills, Jersey City, a reactivation and repurposing of a historic group of dormant industrial buildings, bringing new mixed-income housing to a rapidly changing area of redevelopment, with on-site amenities for residents in the community, including an innovative educational child care facility. Primary partners: RPM Development Group, City of Jersey City, New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance Agency, Ingles Architecture and Engineering.
The vision for this project dates back 2 decades. For a project that had so many unknowns and uncertainties, an adaptive reuse mixed income project helped save this. Collaboration with the City of Jersey City and the New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance Agency was essential.
Being able to provide a mixed income facility such as Whitlock Mills is critical to allowing Jersey City residents to remain in their communities. It is a comfort to still be able to have affordable options. The diversification within the community is something we strive to achieve in our communities and our properties as well.
We've preserved the original industrial core. We've even preserved some of the view sheds and the streetscapes that existed in its industrial prime. Most importantly, the Manning Avenue streetscape, some of the last few cobblestone streets in the city. The project also has a pretty robust program of amenities. We have converted half of the old powerhouse building to serve as a community space, not just for residents, but also for the public. We've engaged Greater Hudson County Boys and Girls Club to operate a child care facility focusing on science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And we're going to be able to serve between 50 and 60 children well into the future. We have the on-site courtyard that will serve as a multi-purpose gathering space with playground. When it comes to integration, we also have a connection to the planned Morris Canal Greenway, which is along the backside of the site. We've got a nice pedestrian plaza that will connect Whitlock Mills to the larger community and other parts of the city. So Whitlock Mills, as it exists today, preserves that spirit of neighborhood integration by introducing a variety of housing choices, pedestrian connections, on-site open space, and of course the retention of neighborhood character.
We always try to provide financial and economic support to these communities as we know that they trickle down to truly impacting the residents in the area.
So we're using a late 19th century, early 20th century industrial setting, look to the past to springboard into the future. It's more than just bricks and sticks. We want to build community, we want to build skills and enhance the lives of our residents. And because of this, we have a more inclusive, well-rounded community.
With its inclusive approach to building community and creating opportunity, Whitlock Mills is enriching the Bergen-Lafayette neighborhood as well as the lives of its residents. One of its key features is that it intentionally offers housing to residents with a mix of incomes, creating the opportunity to integrate instead of segregate. New Jersey is one of the most diverse states in the country and one of the most segregated. New Jersey Future has begun to work on the Geography of Equity and Inclusion initiative, looking at the drivers of segregation in our communities through a land use lens and asking the question, what can be done to change course? Congratulations again to all the winning teams. It's now my pleasure to introduce this year's Carrie Edwards Leadership Award and this year's winner. 10 years ago, we presented a unique leadership award to Carrie Edwards, former Assemblyman, State Attorney General, and longtime New Jersey Future trustee, who led the fight for passage and implementation of the State Planning Act in the 1980s, and for a quarter century thereafter was a passionate advocate for effective state and regional planning. We honor Carrie's legacy by naming New Jersey Future's Special Leadership Award in his memory. The award recognizes individuals who have made a commitment to improving the quality of life and promoting smart growth in New Jersey through equitable and sustainable land use policy and practice. On behalf of New Jersey Future, it's my pleasure to present this year's Carrie Edwards Leadership Award to Peter Reinhardt. I've known Peter Reinhardt ever since his days on the Council of Affordable Housing. Ironically, my mom has known Peter Reinhardt since the two of them worked together on the Alliance for Affordable Housing back in the late 80s, early 90s. But the way I've gotten to know Peter most and best is as the chair of the Board of Directors of New Jersey Future. Peter not only epitomizes the forward-thinking and balanced approach to development that we value, but he brings a critical blend of strategic thinker and practical, action-oriented doer. He helped guide us past Superstorm Sandy to having one of the first major events after the storm, looking at how we need to do things differently in New Jersey. And he has always been there when controversial issues have arisen, to remain calm, cool, and collected while we assembled the right group of perspectives to make an informed decision. So in addition to New Jersey Future's thanks, I add my personal thanks. Each year, we present this award to an individual who has demonstrated outstanding commitment to improving quality of life and promoting smart, sustainable growth in New Jersey. Peter is receiving this award for his decades of service and commitment to fair and affordable housing and bridging real estate development and smart growth, and for his years of leadership on progressive land use policy and with the New Jersey Future Board of Trustees. Please enjoy this short video that captures a small part of why Peter is this year's honoree.
I believe Peter's legacy will reveal his extraordinary leadership, his deep commitment to diversity, and to making New Jersey a much better place to live and to work.
He prides himself on being dedicated to policy, and with that, he listens, he educates, welcomes being educated, and he's dedicated to urban redevelopment.
There's an individual who's cut from the same mold as Carrie Edwards, who very much parallels Carrie Edwards in terms of his contributions, his years of services, the kind of issues that he thought important. So this is a very appropriate recognition for Peter Reinhardt to receive, and I think that Carrie Edwards will say, terrific choice, New Jersey Future.
Peter contributed enormously to public policy in the state of New Jersey with respect to smart growth, affordable housing, and fairness. He played a significant role in bringing the Society Hill development concept to some of the urban centers, including Jersey City and Newark, and became the leader of the Kisslack Real Estate Institute. It was something that he enjoyed doing. It was manifest that made him a superb teacher. The students realized that he offered skills and insight that would be invaluable. He was on the Council for Affordable Housing and played a leadership role in that. Notably, his belief was the third round rules were wrong, and 10 years later, the Supreme Court ruled that they were unconstitutional. So he was 10 years ahead of his time. So Peter was the perfect person to lead New Jersey Future.
Peter has a strong commitment to some of the issues that are important to the state and to New Jersey Future. Land use planning and smart growth, affordable housing, a strong and stable economy, economic and social justice. I think all of those are issues that Peter has championed over the course of his career.
Peter, after 4 years on our board, became the board chair in 2011. October 29th, 2012, Superstorm Sandy hit. Peter recognized that New Jersey Future had a role to play in helping devastated communities rebuild, not like they were before, but better and stronger with a focus on resilience. Thanks to Peter's leadership, in the month following Sandy, New Jersey Future convened a forum at Monmouth University that attracted 500 attendees so that we could figure out the best way to move New Jersey forward. New Jersey Future was immediately recognized for developing and implementing coastal resilience strategies. Over the past 2 years, New Jersey Future has been working to embed justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion considerations into everything we do. And although we're just at the beginning of this journey, it's a game changer, and Peter deserves all the credit in the world as board chair for pushing this initiative, for supporting this initiative, and for making it such an important part of NJ Future.
It was always a pleasure dealing with Peter Reinhardt. He showed leadership in every context. His legacy will continue with New Jersey Future, it will continue with the Kisslack Real Estate Institute, and it will continue with the building industry.
The best thing about Peter is he's loyal, he's hardworking, and he's committed. No matter what he's doing, he gives it his all. Never lets up and never lets down.
It's my pleasure to present the actual award to Peter Reinhardt. The award will be sent from Mudgirl Studio directly, Peter, to you in your home office. Peter, take it away.
Hello, I'm Peter Reinhardt, and I am really honored to be the recipient of this year's Carrie Edwards Leadership Award from New Jersey Future. To be included on a list with names like Jim Florio and Carrie Edwards and so many other great leaders in the state is pretty humbling and pretty cool, to be honest. New Jersey Future, as you know, was founded in 1987, and its original purpose was to promote the brand new state development plan. And the group of people that founded it were a bunch of leading citizens from interesting, diverse points of view. People that promoted growth, people that promoted the environment, and people that promoted equity. And over the years, New Jersey Future grew in prestige and stature and size. But a big turning event was in 2012, October 29th, when Superstorm Sandy struck New Jersey. I had just become recently the chair of New Jersey Future, and I remember the next day vividly having a phone conversation with Pete Kasabak, our relatively new executive director. What could we do as New Jersey Future with regard to Superstorm Sandy? And we decided to see if we could convene a group of people from around the country who had experience with other disasters. And in a short 5 weeks, we put together a program attended by over 500 people at Monmouth University. And we had these experts in architecture and engineering and insurance and resilience from around the country. And I really think that helped elevate the stature of New Jersey Future. As the years went by, our reputation continued to grow because we were a fact and data-based organization. We weren't espousing a particular point of view other than doing the right thing for the state of New Jersey. And the vision that was established originally back in 1987 by that group of original thinkers has continued to this day. The mission is modified a little bit from just promoting the state development plan to now making sure that New Jersey has a really strong, resilient future, smart growth. And one of the embodiments of that in recent years has been the Jersey Waterworks, which was initiated and led by the great staff and some of our great board leaders at New Jersey Future. And as you all know, we have our two big annual events, the Redevelopment Forum and the Smart Growth Awards, which we're celebrating today. And those events have now become basically must-attend events for people interested in development and equity issues and all sorts of other balance issues. And we note that many elected officials at the local and the state and the county level put it on their calendar every year. They want to make sure they get there and get the information and the education that an organization like New Jersey Future is able to deliver. And the Smart Growth Awards, those great recipients that you saw today, it's a badge of honor now to get a Smart Growth Award from New Jersey Future. And I'm very pleased to see that they advertise it, they promote it on their websites and their various communication pieces that they received a Smart Growth Award from New Jersey Future. So in closing, after 33 years, it's a really humbling honor for me to have received this award. And I'd just like to close with one very short verse for you. I'm dreaming of a bright future where people live in harmony here in Jersey land. Thank you very much.
I'd like to congratulate all of our winners again and thank our sponsors and contributors for all of their kind donations and contributions and support. We'd also like to thank you for attending today and participating in this celebration of Smart Growth Awards. The awards can be shared with your friends and colleagues. This video will be available online, and the individual awardees will also be available. Before we go, we have two quick announcements. The first, you're probably familiar with our redevelopment forum that takes place early March every year. This year, we won't be holding the redevelopment forum, but instead, we'll be doing something very special. We'll be teaming up with the American Planning Association New Jersey chapter and doing a 2-day virtual conference together. Second, we're now getting to the end of our annual fundraising appeal, and we hope that you'll be able to contribute and help us reach our goal. Together, we can make New Jersey communities stronger, healthier, and more resilient for everyone. Thank you.